Regina Imburgia joining us today. She is with Activist for Truth, and she is one firecracker. I mean, she is an amazing human being, and I am just so glad that she is on our side, ladies and gentlemen. Can you imagine? She'd be making it fluoridation all over the place if she was on their side, because she is so powerful in what she has to say and do. Anyway, we're going to talk about what's happening in Texas now, in Dallas. Hopefully you will be inspired enough to listen to what she has to say and move in your own area. So thank you so much, Regina, for joining us today on the Power Hour.
Thank you, Joyce. Any compliment from the mother of all firecrackers is a major compliment to me. You're amazing. I've told you before, and I truly mean this. I think you're awesome, and you're my mentor. I love it, and I appreciate you giving the opportunity to this topic and to people.
Well, you are so kind. You have really put some effort behind this. This is nothing you've just, made a few statements on and things happened. You have really done some work on this. Well, for people that have never heard you before, first of all, who are you? And tell us a little bit about who Regina is.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm just a mother, grandmother that cares. And over the years, I grew up in a family that was nonconformist. I've never been vaccinated, and I'm 58 years old. And homeschooling was done in our family 45 years ago. So we always kind of were not necessarily going along with the normal mainstream concepts. So it was not unusual to me all the time to be looking at things a little different. Well, I started Activist for Truth in April of 2013, and basically to bring about the truth, to give an option to people to look in different areas. And I highlighted you and the Power Hour almost every single meeting. I'd say, go to the Power Hour, because I realized, and a lot of the people that were coming realized, we weren't getting the truth from mainstream media. So that was one of my main things with Activists for Truth, and I would make a platform. What I did was, and plus John Whitehead, he's with the Rutherford Institute, he was talking about, and I believe also, we've kind of lost touch with Congress and the President making a big effect, but city government, maybe you would have, or local issues, you might have more impact. So I started making it a meeting every Monday, and we got a little place here. We probably have La Madeleine in your areas too, but it's a little cafe, and a lot of these places will let you use one of their rooms as long as you eat food and, support their organization. So I booked La Madeleine on Mondays for every Monday for 2014. And
wow.
So, and the concept was, Joyce, was, when people say, well, we're meeting the third Thursday or the second Tuesday, people don't realize where you are, or they get confused. But I thought every Monday, no matter what we're doing, people know where to find us, or you can tell people to join us. And that was just one of my ideas. So we would, from 7 to 8, we would talk about our local activities, projects that we were working on. And then from 8 to 9, we would have guest speakers come in and talk about aquaponics or prepping or a politician, a variety of things. And it gave a platform for people. Well, the Moriartys, one of my big things is these two people who were whistleblowers. Oh, I'm really, really, really big on supporting whistleblowers.
Yeah.
And so whistleblowers of all time, is a passion to me to give them a venue. And I remember meeting you, Joyce, on the phone, was because I was like, please, just, will you talk to them? I don't know, and you did. And then, of course, that helped to get their story out, which has been corroborated. And I use the wrong words all this, collaborated, I guess is the right word.
Corroborated?
Collaborated, yes. I mean, they've been vindicated. I mean, their story, everything is out there, and it's sad that
yes.
their story was so true. And it's just multiplied in so many different areas.
And let me ask you this. Have you seen the Moriartys lately? I have not talked to them lately.
They came up to Dallas around Christmas time, and I got to see them, and they look good. It's
Great.
amazing how they keep their spirits up. Their lifestyle has changed so much, but they're just so convicted to stay on with the program. They had several things happen in their life recently that kind of stunted their speaking out a little bit, but then they were like, nope, we're going to just do it again, and that was government issued kind of
Really?
conversation.
And just for the listeners that have not maybe connected the Moriartys, they lived in Libya at the time, and they explained to us the Libyan situation, which was totally juxtaposed to what the U.S. government was saying regarding Benghazi. And we were able to talk to somebody who lived across the street from Benghazi as a result of them. And we need to get them back on the show again, find out what's happening in Libya, because I think the U.S. is now starting to create more problems there. So I'll hopefully they'll give me a call and we can get them back on the show. Thank you.
I can send them a message. No problem. So that was just an example of what we've done. So along the way, last year, it's like last year, it actually is January, I think, I thought with our group, I never was involved in the city government. I didn't know when did they meet. I didn't know who my council person was. And I just wanted to learn how does it work, you know? So I took the topic of fluoridation because to me it's a no-brainer. I know it's not a good idea. And I thought surely when we bring it forward to them and we expose this, we can have impact. And then one of my things was I want to show people because everybody's depressed. You know, everybody's thinking you can't make a difference. Why even try? And I do understand why. But I thought with this one, we'll be able to energize people. So I got started with that mindset. And moving along the way, here we are 1 year later. And I can tell you all the wonderful things that have happened. And I do believe we will prevail because we are right. You know, I have this thing, and when I was a child, it was always, but it's not fair. I just have this main thing in my body, you know, that when things aren't right, I feel as though if I have an opportunity, I can at least try to change them. And now you may want to hear what we did. In January, we started going, and that was the first time for 9 of us to go. One of the people had been to the council before. So it was an eye-opening experience just seeing how the process works and how most of the council members don't pay attention. They're eating, they're drinking, they're talking to each other. And so through the year, though, they're paying attention now. And what we did was it was a layering process. I even had to learn in the city of Dallas, I was told that it had to be a vote of the people and that we had to get it on the ballot and that it had to be a vote of the people. Well, in my process of looking into it, how the original resolution was written, and I was just really trying to move that process forward, I found it, no, this is not correct. In 1965, by a simple vote of the council, it was enacted and all the equipment was purchased and it was put into effect. A few months later, activists at that time in 1965 thought, this is poison, you can't do this. So they actually got out on the ballot to vote. But at that time, it was only like 30,000 people were voting for the host city of Dallas, right? And so it did win, and it upheld the council's opinion to continue this. So that's what's always been remembered is it was a vote of the people, but that's not true. So right away, and within the first 2 months, I brought it to the attention and to the city lawyer and all that stuff, and they said, she's right. So my now campaign was, wow, we only have to convince 9 of the 15 to change this, okay? As the time went on, the next month I realized, wait a minute, the contract for buying the hydrofluorosilicic acid is up at the end of the year, which would have been like December, January, right? And so I thought, wait a minute, for that you only need 8 people, 8 of the 15. So that's who we needed to target, just 8 of the 15 to realize we don't need to spend $1 million to add this product to the water. In doing that, I found out our natural water has 0.5 parts per million fluoride. That was another strong factor because they only raised it to 0.7 parts per million. So it made it look even more stupid and not prudent and the risks surely could not outweigh the risk would outweigh the benefits of 0.2 parts per million. That's nothing, you know. So we started, you know, and plus Dr. Conant has been doing this for 18 years. He's a professor and a chemist and a wonderful man who's put his life on hold for all this. I brought him in to talk to the city council in June 11th. And he spoke before the council, did a wonderful job. And we had one council member very strong on our side, Sheffy Kadane. He's a hero. He actually called you, I remember, one time.
Right,
and thanked you. And so we just, the push was on more so was to just keep pushing this forward. And here we are. Let me screech you forward. The vote is Wednesday the 28th. We should have had a council meeting on the 21st, this last Wednesday, and we had many presentations to share with the council, but the meeting was canceled, which is an unusual thing, but the mayor can do that, and so we missed out on one whole council meeting. The meeting on the 14th, what we did was we got professionals, experts, scientists, and everything to give their 3-minute testimony, because that's what you have, 3 minutes once a month to present your ideas, okay? So we had a local person sign up for the 3 minutes, and then we had these expert testimony things, videos, and they would use that as their, they used 2.5 minutes of that, okay? So it was really effective. And plus, we have a PSA, a public service announcement that was produced by Ivan Estevez in California with Ed Bigley Jr., a famous environmentalist actor. He produced this, a 1-minute commercial, and in December, they got funding for it, and it played during Dr. Oz.
Wow.
5 times in December, yeah. And then Fox, our local station, liked it so much, they played it another 15 times in January during 9 to 3 in the afternoon. We played that PSA, one of our presenters, and these are people that have never really done this before. He did an excellent job, and there's videos of all of this. And Joyce, I love you, because prior to me even coming on, you posted all of our links. But we have a website, and it's called dogsagainstfluoridation.com.
Dogsagainstfluoridation.com. Okay, we got to go to this break, and I would like to take credit for posting that, but I had nothing to do with it. It is Wanda and Catherine. Yes, all my people. They do all the things that make me look good. We'll be right back after this 4-minute break with Regina. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. This is Joyce and Josh. Hi, it's Joyce Riley with the Power Hour. There's something really fun and exciting about discovering products that make life more pleasant and enjoyable. Well, Miracle 2 soaps definitely fit that description. The shelves at the supermarket are packed with soaps and cleansers that are full of chemicals that slowly destroy our health and the environment. Miracle 2 products are all natural, like the green soap that can replace your bath, laundry, household soaps, and cleaning products. And please try Miracle 2 Skin Lotion. It's quickly absorbed and not greasy like all those other mass-produced lotions. Miracle 2 Moisturizer is full of fabulous oils and emollients that leave the skin healthy and baby soft. I guarantee after you discover how amazing Miracle 2 products are, you'll recommend them to everyone you...
7-800-10 wall and live streaming.
Welcome back to Power Hour, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't that make you feel like Regina and Bergia? Man, that's got to be like at her meetings, too. I am so impressed. And what they're doing is impressive, ladies and gentlemen. Please take a page out of their book and what they're doing, and please get involved. Regina, let's bring the listeners up to date as to what has happened now, because you've gotten the support of so many people, and you're not exactly dealing with some small rural area. I mean, you're talking Dallas, Texas, and you're taking on Goliath there.
Well, and that's right. And the thing of it is that's why I've encouraged everybody over the last year to not think just Dallas, because if people can help from outside Dallas, when Dallas turns this around, it'll help them in their community. So that's why I've kind of wanted people to get involved. Plus, too, the mayor has said that Dallas is an international city. It really is. Yeah. And so it's not just like you just said, it's not just some rural town where I know that you'd be fighting your council a little different. We're doing it broad. We want people from around the world and around the United States to be calling in and saying, we're watching you, because they want to bring their conventions here, and people shop here, and people vacation here. This is a big thing. This would be the biggest city in the United States to not fluoridate. And it can happen. It can happen. In Albuquerque in 2012, they had a similar thing with the fact that their water had almost 5 parts per million, and that was a major factor in turning it off there, and it's been off. So, plus, too, we have so many things going on. Okay, so we have 4 solid councilmen of the 8, okay? And I truly, truly believe that we can get 4 more by Wednesday. We had a press release go out. We've had countless professional doctors and toxicologists and people sending emails to the city council. We have a petition out there that has 1,500 signatures that every week the council gets updated, how many signatures have gone to it. And all these things are on our website. The front page, we keep it all updated, and it's Dogs Against Fluoridation. And fluoridation is a funny word. It's F-L-U. Think of flu, F-L-U-O-R-I-D-A-T-A-O-N.
Okay, and let me just add, why dogs? Why dogs?
I'll tell you why. In the petition, and this is another thing, I learned a lot of this stuff. I knew basically fluoridation was bad, right, and fluoride. But then I kind of stumbled on a lot of these things, and when I was doing my petition, when you read everything I do, I don't just do it. I do it to inform. I want people educated. I want them to do it for the right reasons. It was interesting that dogs have a lot of thyroid problems, okay? And back in 1884, this scientist was looking into goiters and how fluoride affects, and it was on dogs. She did a lot of the research with dogs. And so I thought to myself one day, someone had given me a book about how to get media attention, and they said, you need a hook, you need something different. And actually I was taking a shower, and all of a sudden I thought, dogs, because people is sad. But a lot of times people are more compassionate to animals than they are to humans, because the Lancet came out in 2012 talking about how this definitely lowers IQ and it affects babies and mothers who are pregnant a lot. I mean, it's very, very bad. But I'll tell you what, when you talk about animals sometimes, there's another kind of passion that's out there in groups of people, and people don't even think about it. And then they can also, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that for my dog. And
right.
Also,
because the animals get the fluoridated water also. So I commend you. Yeah, I commend you. That's really interesting the way you did that. I just want to, again, repeat, fluoridation, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people misspell it. F-L-U-O-R-I-D-A-T-I-O-N. So of the cities in this country that are not doing fluoridation now, how many are there? Do you have any idea?
Yes, we actually, this is another thing we gave them. We gave them, since 1999, 400 communities have stopped fluoridating. Okay?
Whoa.
Yeah, right. Now, all those are in the United States, because Israel in August 2014, they banned it for their whole country, 7 million people, okay? So, but in this list, it has all the updated cities. United States communities are falling. They are reversing, around us. Now, look at this one. We're in Dallas, right? And Highland Park Cities is the most affluential area around here, one of the most. And they never fluoridated. So there's
really
areas. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And
it's probably where all the dentists live that really understand what's going on.
Well, a dentist wrote a letter to the city council, 38-year dentist, third-generation dentist, which I read to the council, and he was offering, call me, talk to me. I'm right on the border of Dallas right here. I can see that fluoridation has not helped the children.
Wow, that is excellent. We got to go to this break. We got a 3-minute break. We'll be back with Regina and Bergia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really hopeful. This is awesome. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The market at Sling.
% off at checkout. That's
Out your name.
From the Power Mall, and you can call us at 877-817-9829, 877-817-9829, or go to thepowermall.com. And also, we've got a lot of things on special. We are trying to get as many nebulizers as we can. Now, the nebulizers are extremely hard to get at times. Zinc, I don't know. In on special. Straw palm, don't you?
book. And we posted it's mostly on fluoride.
179-829, 877-817-9829, or go to thepowermall.com. Getting back to Regina and Bergia and her group in Texas. Now, you still have activistfortruth.com, don't you?
Yes, I do. Okay. And the thing of it is the last 3 months solid, we've focused mostly on fluoride, and then I wanted to put it so someone said we needed a portal. That was a word I had to kind of learn, where everything was more grouped together instead of having it pieced into the other stuff we're doing. That's why we have the Facebook, which is Fluoride Action North Texas Facebook. And we posted your stuff on here and all that, so people are seeing that we're talking to you today. So
okay. All right. And now I want to also, and Noelle is here in the studio. That's Josh's wife. Noelle, there is a poll that you were real impressed with yesterday on the website.
Yes, I noticed there was a link to an article that Jason Hyde put together for D Magazine out of Dallas, and it's basically taking a poll on asking, should Dallas fluoridate its water? And yesterday when I went in there and I took the poll, I noticed that the results were 28% yes, they should fluoridate, and 71% no. And then this morning, it's dropped by 1% for the yes, and then increased by 1% for the no. So I think that's.
So can we take that poll? Can we go in and take that poll?
Yes. Like I said, the link for the poll is on dmagazine.com, but you can get there from Regina's website. The dogs.
And I also posted it on the Facebook of your show, the Power Hour. I put it in a comment underneath where you were talking about me coming on. I have it on there, and I have a screenshot. Yes, thank you for mentioning it, because this came about because Howard Garrett is called the Dirt Doctor. And he has a newsletter that goes out to 100,000 people, and he's got talk radio on Sunday mornings, and he's awesome. Well, he talked out because he was supporting us. You know, I've called in for about 3 months, and then he came out writing his newsletter to all his people. Well, the Dallas Observer is a local strong paper here, and that guy wrote an article he wrote the article saying, I know what's going to happen if Howard comes out with this. Tomorrow, the Dallas Morning News is going to slam him and slander him. That's what happened. The next day, the Dallas, because that's what they do. Big media, in the whole year I've been doing this, Joyce, has only called me names. Okay, there's been 5 articles, and in every one of them, they use scare tactics and labeling, and no science and no reporting. They just kind of attack and use those slogans of, the Brits will have teeth like the Brits, and don't listen to the cranks and the conspiracy people and all that. So when the Dallas Observer knew this was going to come out, they preempted it. He preempted it. The next day when Steve Blow came out with his article, that's exactly what he did. He said the Dirt Doctor should go back to grub worms and not talk about people or whatever. And then the title of his article was, Dallas needs to listen to the doctors. Okay? Now, in Steve Blow's article, all he did was talk about this nice Dr. Williams DDS that helped found and get fluoridation established in Dallas, okay? And about what a nice guy he was and what he did and everything like that. So the next day, a local radio show had on Howard Garrett to speak. And then they had the doctor on. Well, what was amazing is the doctor said, they need to fluoridate because the source water that they're using doesn't have any fluoride in it. So it was a major blunder. He didn't even know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
So D Magazine then comes out and writes an article, and then they wrote another article with this poll. And in the poll, what it says is, it's kind of funny. It says yes, no, or and then the maybe was, please don't let me choose between my brain and my teeth. And so the article is saying, look, if the risk of neurotoxicity is involved, is it really worth it for your teeth? And actually, so I know I talked a lot about that, and it sounds a little confusing, but if you go to the website, you can see all the links to all the articles to see what's happening. So yesterday, I went down to outside of one of the radio studios with a sign saying, where's the reporting? The reporters, nobody's reporting,
You are just reporting. I wish you would take an assertiveness training course or something, Get a little guts there.
To make it funnier, and so people, I want you to use this, people. I took a black umbrella because it was raining and it was cold yesterday, and I wrote on it, and you know what I used for people to, this was something I invented because I needed it at the last minute, a whiteout. Whiteout works perfect. Right on an umbrella. It's awesome. It's easy to maneuver. I'll post a picture on your Facebook. It works. I mean, it's just really effective. So for other types
I'd love to see the picture.
On an umbrella. Okay, I'll send you a picture.
So, now where are we? Because we're going to run out of time here, and I need to.
We are.
But where are we now, and what can we do to support you now? Because you've got to get 8 people by what, the 28th of
January.
That's next January, the 28th of January.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So go again. Send letters from all over. Don't think that you're not in Dallas. To vote no. This is a poison. Vote no to the city council and to the mayor. Okay. And also, we're looking for selfies right now. I call them selfies, although you can take a picture of someone else. And I posted some of those on yours because on Wednesday morning, we're going to compile them all with a YouTube, in a 2.5-minute time because Howard Garrett is actually going to come speak that morning to the council. We have 4 people that signed up to speak before the council takes the vote. There were only 5 slots, and we got all 4 of the 5. And so they're going to have one more pitch, Well, we're going to show this video. My daughter's actually going to present this. And it's just going to be picture of people holding a sign that says, Dallas, vote no. Because it has to have the word Dallas in there, or they'll think it's a generic picture. And no, okay? And then what I'm requesting is them to send those selfies to activists4truth@yahoo.com.
Okay, what do you want selfies of? What do you want pictures of?
Pictures of people holding a little sign saying, Dallas, vote no.
Dallas, vote no. Okay.
Yeah, something to do with Dallas. So if it's like not just no, because then they'll think it's a generic picture. But they took the time to do this. And then I am looking for a song that can go behind it. So it's interesting. You guys at your station are always big on messages from songs because we do need to have a song that goes behind it. What my daughter's going to say is, look, we've had presentations from experts here, but this is a representative form of government. You may have your opinion, but are you listening to the people? And then we're going to show the poll. The poll says 72% of Dallas says no, So, I mean, it's like we're trying to shake them up because some of these council people went into this with their opinion already, and I don't believe they have fully been realizing what their job is, And what I said to them one time, you have the ability to vote because you were elected to this position, and this is a vote on your table, but you have the knowledge to vote. And when in doubt, leave it out. First do no harm. I mean, you're a nurse, Joyce, but they're not even using the basic principles of medicating, which they shouldn't even be medicating the public. We do not consent, The deal of it is when people bring up there's other chemicals in the water, but that's to treat the water. This fluoride is being put in to treat the people, and where will it stop?
That's a good point. Fluoride is to treat people, not their teeth. That is a really good point. Okay, so letters. Now, where do they go to get the addresses for those letters? And some of our people, of course, are not going to be online. So, can you give
1500,
one?
The address is City Hall. You write it to the city secretary at Dallas City Hall. It's 1500 Marilla, Marrilla, I think. I'm really bad at spelling. One thing that people have had to deal with me is, I finished high school with a GED, and I'm not really big on the details of names and stuff like that, so I'm going to, I screw up sometimes.
Well, it's kind of important on things like addresses and stuff like that.
It is, honey. It is,
especially when you're dealing with a town that's got about at least 10,000 population like Dallas, right?
Okay. Marilla is spelled Marilla.
Okay, so give us the whole address. All right, if somebody was going to write a letter, let's say they're going to write one letter, and we're going to ask people out there to write a letter. Give us the name they need to write to and the address.
I will right now. It's Rosa Rios, okay? She's and you write underneath there, City Secretary, 1500 Marilla, Marilla Street, Dallas, Texas, 75201.
Okay.
And then in your letter say, Ms. Rios, please make copies for the mayor and the city council. And then she'll be in charge of dispersing it to all the 15 people on the council. And she's been doing this. Most likely, you'll get a response back from her that she did it.
Okay. All right. And now, what do you want them to say? Just say no to fluoride, or I support, the anti. What do you want them? What is the most appropriate thing to say?
Okay. Well, we've had a lot of professional people sending them all kind of documentation why it's bad. But you know what? If they kept it even simple, let's see. What would you say even? I agree. We don't. Okay. I don't know. It can be a million different ways.
Okay, but they just basically they don't want to see Dallas be fluoride, have fluoride, and for lots of reasons, please do not fluoride Dallas. I mean, that really is what you want to say.
That's what we want to say. We're not talking about taking the fluoride out of the water. We're just saying stop adding this toxin to the water. Vote no. Vote no on January 28th to spending money to put a toxic, chemical in the water, and really they don't have to have it be perfect. Just the concept of voting no, it's spending money on a neurotoxin to be put in the water. So they can be as elaborate as they want, but in the first line, make sure it's clear where they're standing, what side they're standing on.
Okay, all right. And also, Catherine just emailed me and said she put the poll on the website posting and in the email blast for listeners to take, so we can all go there and take that poll, too. I think that's pretty impressive.
She's awesome. Oh, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
What I think is amazing is that a magazine as big as D Magazine, it's a big magazine, it's the Dallas Magazine, that they're showing their side to it by saying, this is a neurotoxin. Do you guys want it in here? And just that their third option is, don't make me decide between my teeth and my brain. You know what I mean? It's like they're already sliding towards the side of trying to show you this isn't a good idea. And and that's taking a pretty big stand. Let's see. So basically speaking, of course, anyone in Dallas on Wednesday morning, we're going to be in Chambers at 9 o'clock. What happens is there's a prayer, a pledge, and then it's open mic speakers, which there's only 5. Like I said, four of them will be our people, and then the vote will be in that morning, okay? So as many people in Chambers as possible. This Chambers holds about 300-400 people, and I'll have little index cards. So listen, Joyce, I do everything on a dime, my own dime, most of it. So last time what I did is I took index cards, put a circle with an F, and then a cross over it, how they do that, like no F, because F is the symbol for fluoride. And then put masking tape on the back, the kind that doesn't hurt you, the blue one, and everyone stuck them on their shoulder, because you can't carry a sign or anything in there or pass literature, but if it's on your body, and making t-shirts is a great idea, but it costs money, So this kind of will help us unite together. So if anyone comes, it'll be obvious to find us. Come get one of your index cards, and we'll all just kind of clap. You can clap for the speakers. You can't be rowdy or anything like that. There's a lot of protocol, but definitely you can clap. And
that is amazing.
So
I am so proud of you. I am so proud of all that you have done. Who would have ever thought they could have gone to this extent and gained this much ground on this issue by telling the truth and by educating and by standing
on our side.
Oh, yeah. By standing and
nice.
Standing.
Well, what I'm really hoping, like you say, Joyce, what people need to do is just get out there and do it, and then be creative and come up with ideas, and don't think that it's bigger. Like, don't think that the Goliath, even think of the story, David beat Goliath, right? I mean, so don't ever think they're too big. And also, these people, my concept was, I didn't attack them. I really I mean it, too. I mean this passionately. I want to help them do their job. We elect them, but then we need to help them, tell them what we want, and give them the information. There's Jennifer Staubach Gates is one of the counselors on there. She is Roger Staubach's daughter. So in my mind at all, I think she's being paid. Sometimes people attack these people as though they're doing it intentionally, but no, she was a nurse. She was a nurse, Joyce. She was taught this. She thinks it's helping people, and I truly believe she thinks that, but she needs to get past the propaganda and the endorsements and believing what they say, that it's safe and effective, and she needs to truly see it's not, and that the benefits is so small compared to the large risks involved, And so I believe she will. One of my personal goals, I've had personal goals along. I just like her, and I like that she's serving. She doesn't have to serve. I mean, she's got a husband, and she's got a set life. She is stepping out to want to make a change and a difference. Oh, yeah, let me tell you about our most recent convert here, whatever you want to call it. And I use the wrong word.
We got 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds.
Adam Madrano, I think it would be great, too, if they say, thank you, Adam, because he's been listening all this time. He's never said a word. And the other day he said, I want to do what's right for my community, and I'm standing up. And so he just turned just a week ago, and he's
wonderful. Hey, listen, we got to go, but we love you. Thank you so much, Regina. You keep doing what you're doing. We'll be supporting you, thinking of you. And everybody, help her out. Help her out.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
Thank you.
We love you. Back in 3 minutes.